Hey guys, this week's episode is a flashback episode. You all know that we love to travel, and this episode was when we took our Thanksgiving holiday out to Tempe, Arizona, so that we could share turkey with our kids who were out there going to school. Hey, stop messing with stuff. Hey. All right. Welcome back to episode 16 of The Loud Quiet. Sorry, we were laughing at the cat. We haven't been in here in a couple weeks, and he's
interested
in the cords for some reason.
So
I don't know why.
if you see us just suddenly out,
I don't know why he's into all the cords today, because nothing has changed in here, dude. It's fine. So anyways, so we're back. We're going to try to get this recording banged out real quick. We've got an event to go to tonight, but
yeah, let's peel the curtain back just a little bit. As I was driving home today, this afternoon, it was, it's good to do an episode.
Yeah.
And we realized we really do have about 20, 25 minutes before an event, which feels very empty nester. Hey, let's just try to get this done before we go to our next thing, right?
Well, and I would have waited till tomorrow, but I'm having my face plastered off, so I don't know how good I'll look on camera for the next few days.
We just blur out.
Yeah. I could just wear like a face covering or something, a veil. So anyways.
I do want to see an episode with you wearing a veil once. That would be a lot of fun.
So we'll do our post-Thanksgiving recap. This is, everybody's back. Everybody's in the routine.
The title of the episode before was Taking Turkey Day to Tempe, right?
Yeah.
So
something
we
like that,
took Turkey Day to Tempe.
We did.
And
unfortunately, the turkey was not good.
All the turkey sucked. So.
Yeah. So,
but don't let that be a tease.
No,
the weekend was awesome.
Yeah,
the week.
The week. Yeah, we were there. Yeah,
Tuesday through Sunday.
Yeah. So, and we all at the end were like, man, it feels like we've been here for like 2.5 weeks. So
pack something in every day.
Yeah, it was. So it was good. All the airplane gods shined on us.
Boy,
everything. I mean, we cruised through the TSA line. There was no one. Well, the TSA line was actually longer than the regular line.
Oh, we had to wait 4 minutes instead of one.
Flights were on time. Flights were early getting in. It was, we had glorious weather. Not leaving here, it was cold, but when we landed in Tucson, it was beautiful.
And again, Southwest, if you're listening, please, Dallas to Tucson nonstop.
I know, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was so wonderful.
Now, going out was not full, but coming home was completely full. So crossing the fingers that maybe they will
it was
add
great,
that
though.
in. But yeah,
so we did get there, and some hiccups with the rental car that aren't even worth dealing with. But, of course, it's going to be something like that. But we had the time. And then, again, glorious weather. I even said to you when we were dealing with the rental cars, like, well, at least we're driving around and it's a beautiful day. So
yeah, but the first thing when we land, you're like, you know what? They sell liquor at their Costco's. Can we hit the Costco? And I looked at you, I was like, are you freaking kidding me? It's Wednesday before, or no, sorry, this was Tuesday.
That's right. See, I know
Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday before Thanksgiving, and you want me to step foot in a Costco?
Remember, it wasn't just liquor. It was liquor and pie.
I get the pie, but oh my gosh, I was just like, no way. I mean, we couldn't even find a spot in the regular parking lot, but then
there was a dirt overflow we almost got stuck in. However, it worked out.
But yes, it was actually not. It actually was not as chaotic as our Costco on a regular day. So it was not bad. It was fine.
And if you haven't gone and seen the video, it's a viral video of all the pies that get taken away at Costco. Go find it. Maybe I'll put a link in the show notes. It is stunning to see this time-lapse video of all the pies going by, because we had the experience. You show up, I didn't know if there were going to be any left, and there were. But it is amazing to see how thousands upon thousands of pies get sold at an individual location.
Yeah. And it was, it was good. Tegan critiqued it. She didn't like it as much as when she makes the pumpkin pie. Yes, because it didn't have the anger in it.
It didn't have her anger. Her best pies are when she's angry. So
we did a little shopping, and then we, checked into our hotel, had time to grab a quick drink before we picked Tegan and her crew up for dinner.
That's right. And that was it. It is always enjoyable to see her friends and his friends, right?
It's just your kids' friends at school that they've made,
and to see and to at moments to engage with them, and at moments to just kick back and kind of watch them engage with each other. It's a lot of fun,
and that we're parents that both of our kids feel comfortable bringing their friends around. They are generally, excited when we come into town. I know it's for a free meal and that kind of thing, but they're also just all really, on both sides, Tanner and Tegan, good kids. Everybody seems to have great relationships with their families. So we ate at a really good Chinese restaurant. The food was really good that night. So, that was just fun. And
it's, an old school, old feeling. And that's something about Tucson that I like. There's a lot of stuff that feels very old. And sometimes when you drive by that, it doesn't maybe look as nice or shiny as a Frisco or even places in Phoenix or Scottsdale. This had some authenticity to it, and they've been there. And it was good.
Yeah, and they've been there for a long time. Yeah. They've stood up. It's not Cheney. It's not
right.
So it's been. We've had phenomenal meals there. So. So then, she still had class on Wednesday, so we got up and went on the other side of
so this was Saguaro. The East Saguaro National Park. It's Rincon or whatever. They have two. The national park is split in two there. 20 minutes outside of the city. Man, I'm so used to it. I hate coming home because it's so nice to just have access to something. And we did. We got out there and we were on trails again by ourselves. There was not occasionally. We saw maybe 5-6 people in the hour and a half we were hiking 2 hours.
When we were coming back, because we probably got out there earlier than most because we knew we had other things to do. But when we got back, the parking lot was full at our little trailhead. So there were definitely more people on before we came out. Oh yeah, I forgot to. There's our picture of our.
And so just imagine that expanse, and there's just no one there. Yes, towards the end, and we saw in a distance because we heard him talking. It was part of what's so neat about this is the silence. It's so quiet, and we heard some talking. And you look off in the distance, you see people riding horseback throughout the park, and so
and it was interesting seeing because this side looked completely different from the other side. The other side was the mountain completely covered. Yeah. And it was an up. This one was mostly flat and
only a couple in and outs of washes.
So, but it was really nice. Good way to kick off Wednesday.
That was probably our last moment of tranquility.
No, that is not true. But we did. Yes. Then we picked up the child and she wanted to go. She said, okay, I need to go. She had one class and then she wanted to hit the gym and then say goodbye to her friends. And then we grabbed a quick lunch and then got on the road
off to Phoenix, off to Tempe. And of course, what do we do when first great Airbnb. If folks are looking for a place in Tempe, I would recommend it. I'm not going to put anything in the show notes, but you can hit us up on an email or something. I'll point you to the one that we were in. And so got quickly settled there. And then we were that family that went grocery shopping on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving.
Yeah. But again, it was empty. And I had been in Trader Joe's in Tucson as well to get a gift card for someone. Yeah. Empty. And then, we were in the Albertsons in a busy part of town. Hey, and is the light shaking? And it was just so not anything like I've experienced in just a regular day. I don't know if people just had their stuff delivered this year. I don't know if they did the pickup. Maybe that makes a difference. I don't know. But
it was great.
Yeah, it was so nice.
You sent Tegan and me on little missions.
Yes.
I don't know if that was actually to help us get things done faster or for us to get out of your hair, but it achieved both goals.
But so we got done. Again, great customer service at the grocery store. I mean, of all places, the grocery store, just the nicest
super nice
people.
Dude. Yeah.
And I think we all kind of had an aha moment of, I think it's just because the weather is so nice there all the time.
Look at that sky.
I mean, that they're just in a good mood. I mean, it is good for your mental health and just physical health. And it's just crazy. As the holidays are approaching, I'm already seeing the crowds and the stress, and it makes me think, what are we even shopping for?
Yeah, exactly. I have a question for everyone listening or watching. What did you get for Christmas last year? Do you remember? Be honest.
No, but do you remember that last vacation? Do you remember the sound of the ocean? Do you remember that great meal? Do you remember spending time with your partner?
Yeah, I remember every last bit of our last vacation, and that is the power of experiences. And the data back it up. Studies say that 2/3 of all empty nesters are prioritizing travel for their purchases now.
Well, that makes sense. We're not buying toys, we're buying time together. The majority of parents are traveling more now that the kids have moved out.
Yeah, and there has never been a better time to book that trip. Instead of joining the chaos, the crowds, the just absolute mob of the Black Friday sales, you can completely skip the chaos.
Our friend Damon at Magical Memory Planners has some incredible Black Friday sales and promotions. Imagine, instead of fighting for a parking spot, you could be escaping the cold weather and end up relaxing on a beach at an all inclusive or lounging on a cruise.
Yeah, give the gift of a lifetime. The gift of a vacation is actually an investment in your relationship and one that absolutely blows away any object that you could wrap up. Stop stressing about what to buy and start dreaming about where to go. Contact Damon at Magical Memory Planners. You can call or text him at 972-987-0527. Email him at damon@magicalmemoryplanners.com, or you can find him on Facebook.
Mention this ad and you'll get $25 to spend at your destination when you book a travel package. Magical Memory Planners. Make more memories, buy less stuff.
And I will tell those of you that are, bourbon hunters or looking for that kind of stuff, it floors me.
Yeah.
I found a bourbon that is not a fancy one or anything, but Buffalo Trace is just sitting there in Albertsons, which is one that it's incredibly difficult to find here. And then I guess Angel's Envy was there, which is not one that I know the name, but I sent it to my bourbon friends, and they're like, oh my gosh, there it is, and look at the price and all that. So yeah, lots of reasons to move to Arizona. Good weather and easy access to good bourbon.
So then we took our stuff, picked up Tanner and friends, took them out to one of our favorite Italian places, which we hadn't been to in a while. So that was nice to go back there. Again, phenomenal waiter. It was just a nice, fun evening.
Lots of laughing.
Yes, lots of laughing.
Of good laughing.
And it is so nice to see Tegan now interact with. It's different than the first time she went out there and she wasn't in college. Now she's in college, so they're more on the same level. And so she definitely more interactive than...
Oh yeah, I mean we didn't. It wasn't like Tegan try to prompt a story or something. The kids would be talking, not our kids, the Tanner and his friends, all of them. And again, we kind of could sit back and watch at times.
It was nice. And then I totally forgot we dropped Tegan off and then we went out with the kids to Casey Moore's, which again is one of your favorites now, and really. We were the median age there, probably. It skewed a lot older, I guess, because most of the kids were gone for Thanksgiving. But yeah, we do. I love that it's outside bar. It's just really in a neighborhood that,
It would be as if the house in your neighborhood. Now, if you live next to it, you might hate it.
Oh, yeah.
But if you're it's like if the house in your neighborhood had a massive wraparound porch, and then you also added servers and a bar there in a casual environment to just hang out and enjoy conversation.
Yeah. And another just fun evening with Tanner's friends who are all about to some are graduating December, the rest will graduate in May, and so it was just a nice enjoyable evening. And then
it's Thanksgiving.
And you got up and picked my parents up from the airport.
And that was something that was kind of neat, is that your parents, because yes, we were going to enjoy being a family of 4 out there, but your parents opted to come join as well. And so it made it where it was this nice family, kind of extended family. It made it feel even more Thanksgiving-y. Now, what didn't feel as Thanksgiving-y...
Everyone has their eyes closed in that picture. Whoops.
No, we're just squinting. If you look, we're just squinting. But yeah, went and got them, brought them over to the house, and then we collected everybody over there. And it was just, now we'll talk about the food, but the environment of being over at this house.
Yes,
this
so
is some
nice.
pictures of the backyard. we were able to just enjoy. And even this picture had a little bit of clouds in it. This day was spectacularly sunny. And I mean, beautiful. You just sat out on the porch.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, the people they were, Tegan was passed out on the turf grass before we even ate dinner. So
just enjoying life and relaxing and I think I think your dad and I got caught in a little napping moment.
Oh,
and this was even
I
before,
didn't put that one on, but yeah.
before, because the sun felt so good.
It was so nice. And again, it was just nice, yes, to have a big enough table for everyone. We weren't like cramming in somewhere to try to, there were certain elements of the catered dinner that were not so great.
Yeah, we're not going to shame brands here,
but there were certain things that were very, very good. But yeah, having to throw out 4 pounds of turkey meat because it was seriously inedible. And I am super picky about turkey, but when you wouldn't even eat it, then I knew there was a problem.
It was bad.
It was bad.
And it wasn't rancid. It just was bad.
Yeah.
It wasn't,
something was just wrong with it. But they have since...
The mac and cheese was great. The biscuits were good. We got some rolls on the side.
Yeah, everything, it was just fun. The ham was good. All the desserts were good. Everything was just...
Especially that Costco pie that I made us go get.
The Costco pie was good. But yeah, so it was just a nice, enjoyable. The Cowboys won. Tegan and I went for a walk through the neighborhood after dinner to digest a little bit, and
it kind of took Thanksgiving and moved it. So it gave us all the adventure of a trip, combining it with all of the comfort of your traditional, with an asterisk, family way of doing.
And we played Phase 10, which is one of our family's favorites, and BB always cheats. So, and actually my brother texted me that. I was like, watch her, she cheats. I was like, I know.
She got called out in the second round.
So
a little under.
And then 2 of Tanner's friends came over because one of them is crazy Phase 10 person. And so we added them in, and it was just another fun, just enjoyable, just an enjoyable time. And again, it was a different Thanksgiving because our entire family wasn't together, but we just don't know what next year is even going to look like. So
would you say, absolutely. Would you say, because I'm thinking about Thanksgiving a lot of times, the family part is great, but can be a lot of work and a lot of preparation, and there can be a lot of comments and commentary about the effort that goes into it. So thinking about just Thanksgiving Day, how do you feel about it?
I had to do a lot more than I thought I was going to have to do because I didn't realize the food we were picking up was cold.
Yeah,
everything had to be cooked, which I didn't have to make any of it, but I had to schedule,
you had to really time it out.
Thank goodness this Airbnb had 2 ovens because I had to sit down and go, okay, this needs to go in at this time. This needs to go in at this time, which I wasn't expecting to have to do. And just, again, getting out all the appetizers, getting out, it was still probably more work than I normally do because we're usually at my mom's house and I usually just bring stuff over there. So,
because I know we considered doing a restaurant, which is near zero effort, right? Except getting and going.
I liked this. I just didn't realize that I was going to have to do as much. But it was fine. It was in the house. The game was on. It wasn't a big deal. It was just I did have to do a little bit more than I thought and anticipated. But again, it was fine. So, but that was just a nice. Yeah. It was a nice evening, afternoon, day, all day, and then the next day we took a little adventure out to Goldfield Ghost Town.
Big kudos to Clancy for finding this one.
This was fun. This was just, we like to do just kitschy, silly stuff every now and then, and this was just a fun. It's an old mining town,
and it actually was.
Yes,
for
it
real.
Actually,
This isn't Silver Dollar City. This was an
Uh-huh.
actual mining town at one point.
Yes, and so you can ride the mine train, and then you can go down in the mine, and then they had the what was that? The Mystery Shack, which if anyone remembers the old in Six Flags, the slanted house. This is what this was. So it was fun. It was just, and we ate in the saloon, and
Yeah, it had all the saloon, I guess, saloon women kind of dressed up that way, and a guy was singing music.
Yeah, it was fun. It was again another just and beautiful weather.
Yeah,
I mean,
the weather was awful. Clearly, you can tell.
You just can't beat being outside doing something in Arizona when the weather is just awesome. And again, it was just fun, and we had a fun time. There was a gunfight. It was just fun, and we spent we spent almost 4 hours there, so it took up a big chunk of the day, which was nice. So yeah, that was just a fun little. It's about 30 minutes outside of Phoenix, and
and exactly that. It was a way, because sometimes the Friday after Thanksgiving, especially if you don't have an activity to do, well then what are you doing sitting around bored? It was just a simple way to spend time together as a family, laugh a little, be entertained a little, and just enjoy life together.
Yeah. And my parents went with us. They just weren't in that picture, but they went with us, and I guess it's by Superstition Mountain, which is a mountain that none of us had ever even
we didn't know the name.
Seen. Yeah.
It's the second most photographed mountain in Arizona, which I did not know.
No.
And when you see it, you realize, oh, it's that one.
Yeah. So that was kind of cool to be out right next to it. I didn't put the picture in.
I may flip one up for those of y'all that are watching it.
We can put the one of my. We can put the one of my. I have one of my parents, I think, in front of it. So, but yeah, just another. And we just then went back to the house and we had so much leftovers, so we just went back and
Texas game was that
chilled,
night. Another nice victory for those of us that are Longhorn fans.
Yeah,
did not eat any leftover turkey.
And Tegan's, I guess that was on Wednesday. Or Thursday. Her basketball team.
Yeah, beat Michigan State that day. That was on Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Tanner's very upset that she is having the sports year
she
at
is
her school that she is.
Which kind of leads us to the last full day
so this was our Saturday.
And for those that don't, listeners, but we've got kids at Arizona, and they are rival schools. This is Texas versus Oklahoma. This is Carolina versus Duke. This is Michigan, Ohio State. These two schools do not like each other, and they're only an hour and a half away from each other. This is a real rivalry. Alumni bases commingle in the major cities there. This is the real deal.
Yeah, so here are the kids doing their school signs, and, Tegan's, so... ASU's is forks up. That's what they say. Well, her shirt says "We give no forks," and I love that shirt. So, and she loved the one. She did like all of because all the ASU ones have no pity for the kitty and all. She liked all the cat reference ones. Go back to your litter box. Yeah. So we started off. We went to lunch, and then we got my parents, went to lunch, and then went over to the girls, Tanner's friends, have a really nice house, so we ran over there real quick to see them, and took a couple. There's all the adults have on our House Divided shirts. So yeah, this was a fun, this is the last time, unless Tanner ends up at law school out there,
and then it won't feel the same. Undergrad versus anything else.
Yeah, this was just a fun.
We lucked out to have them overlap like
cap
this.
To end, and again, beautiful. I mean, gorgeous weather. We rode the train over to the game so that we could just walk right up to the stadium.
This is sunscreen weather. Literally, I was putting on sunscreen. I don't know many outside of skiing where you're doing sunscreen. Yeah,
we are at the stadium.
At the stadium. This was early before it had really filled in.
Yeah.
It was full.
It was. And it was beautiful. And Tegan was very excited because there were lots of Arizona fans around us. Tanner left before halftime to go to Casa. He was like, I'm out. The game was so bad.
If you don't know what Casa is, go back a few episodes. And you'll hear about Clancy and me going up.
So yeah, it was just another.
And there's a reason why Tanner left.
Oh, that's why I said the game was not going his way.
This was a drubbing by Arizona over Arizona State, which Arizona has not historically been a good football team. No. They were actually really good this year, which much to Tanner's chagrin.
Yes. So it was just another good family. Now, it was so beautiful, but when that sun went behind, we were all cold and we were ready. Yeah.
I'm a little glad that the game didn't go to something dramatic and it was overtime or anything like that, because it definitely got chilly.
It got chilly. So we just, enjoyed the game, and then went to one of our other favorites, Four Peaks Brewery, for dinner with Tanner's friends came with again, and yeah, it was just a nice, again, another just nice.
There's a recurring
day.
theme. A nice day.
I know,
nice
and I keep
evening,
using that word, but it was just very. Even though there were tons of activities and there was lots of planning, it was pretty chill for the most part.
I think it shows that there was, because of what you said, the planning is what made it chill.
Yeah.
The thoughtfulness ahead of time of, okay, here's how we're going to do that. These are where the tickets are going to be. This is that. You choosing where we're catering it ahead of time. All of that. The logistic complexity of this, putting it together, was strong. But then we got to just enjoy it.
Yeah. And, then Sunday, you took my parents to the airport. We took the kids to breakfast at Snooze. And then we
that
did
was a good breakfast
Yeah, it was
burrito.
good.
Holy cow.
And then we did a Target run, which
of course,
yeah, but I'm looking, Tegan had 2 things that she needed or wanted, and then Tanner's, I was like, are you moving?
Yeah, are we remodeling?
What's going on? I was like, why are we buying a lamp and a new
when
Brita?
I heard lamp and then these ginormous candles and that sort of stuff.
Well, they spent 15 minutes down the candle aisle, and I leaned over to Rick and I said, never did I think when they were 8 and 5 that they would be smelling every candle and getting so excited about the candles down the candle aisle.
Tucson, or
Tempe Target.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was like, yeah. So anyways, but yeah, so we did that, dropped him off, and then headed back to Tucson to drop her off so she could hit her gym and go meet up with her friends. And
something that I liked about that too, he was done with us, not in a negative way, but just like every kid is done with their parents. He was done, so we dropped him off. She was ready to move back to her kind of college experience and be done with us. Well, we had a lot of time left before the airport. And I've commented on episodes before that I wanted to get used to Tucson and know the campus. Well, what did we do? We've started to get used to it. We're like, well, let's just walk around campus. And it was, again, we'll use the word, just a nice, glorious day beautiful. To walk around.
Yeah.
And that was kind of quiet because the kids hadn't necessarily come back yet. And that was a treat to walk around there. I think, and we don't need to talk about it, we had definitely kind of come to we've used all of our words limit.
Yeah.
And so once we finally got to Tucson, again, the glory of the smallness of the Tucson airport is so nice compared to going into, say, Sky Harbor. And I love Sky Harbor.
Yeah.
But it was
so
simple.
Quiet.
Yeah.
There were seats up at the airport, little lounge bar, down by our gate.
And you felt like quiet. You almost had to whisper
but it was
in an
so
airport.
Nice.
And it was exactly like, because we're sitting there, and I think we sat at the bar, and we talked a little, but there was a little bit of, we just kind of watched the football, had a little drink.
For our flight to be completely full, and for it to not to be, because in Phoenix, we're crammed down in that corner, and it is, you can't even move. And so I would imagine that's how it was on Sunday. So it was, again, like you said, the Tucson airport doesn't have as much as the Phoenix airport does, but man, it was the right way to end Thanksgiving. And
because we'd used our words, and it was time to just chill.
Yeah.
And that was good.
Yeah.
We made it back.
Yeah, I know. And it's crazy. She'll be home 2 weeks from today.
Yeah.
She was telling us today, she's down. She had her Spanish conversation final. And so, it is winding down. So
Just like this episode kind of coming to its winding down. Now, I do want to offer a little tease. Clancy has found something that's going to be fun for us together. If it's not going to be in the next episode, but
it will probably be in the next episode.
Might be in the next one. Yeah, it may be so.
Be.
I get it. We've talked a lot about our kids, and that's probably what a lot of empty nesters do in that first semester, for lack of a better term, of being empty nesters. But there's a reality of we're a couple too, and we've enjoyed coupling. Well, there's some ideas out there on what to do as an empty nester, and so
this was it was dates, empty nester dates, and some of them I was reading, I was like, oh yeah, no way. so
let's have a little
we'll
fun
read
with
some of
that.
them and see, but some of them we've already done, so we'll see where and ones that we might want to do. There was nothing crazy. It was just some of them I was like, okay, is that really like something?
And so you'll all get to hear about it. Actually, I haven't even looked at it yet. It'll be kind of fun to go through. Well, we're back. Tempe, Tucson, Turkey. It's all done. Back to real world, back to real life.
Yep. There we are. It's been Another episode of The Loud Quiet. Living the Empty Nest. You did it again. It's been another episode of The Loud Quiet. Living the Empty Nest.
I want to leave the first one in there.
Leave it in there.